Welcome into Dores Unlocked, Episode 3. I am your host, Aiden Ruttman, joined by, as always, Jonah Barvin, and former Vanderbilt linebacker Errington Truesdale is here as the co-anchor as well. We've got a nice slate of things to talk about today. Let's start with the Vanderbilt football team, 2-0 after a 55-0 thrashing of Alcorn State. Four-quarter domination. Diego Pavia looked solid. The defense looked unbelievable, only allowing 71 yards. We're going to get into both sides of the ball a little bit. Let's start with the offense. Jonah, what did you see?
All right, Aiden. This is the first time since World War II that Vanderbilt has started 2-0 in 3 consecutive seasons. Now, I know what you might be saying, niche stat, right? But this is a different 2-0 than the last 2 years. This offense looks so great, manned by Diego Pavia. Pavia great on the ground again, running the option a little more selectively in this game. Got all 4 running backs back there involved. Was particularly taken with A.J. Newberry's performance. Cedric Alexander was good as well. Got Nate Johnson in there finally when the game got out of control. First play, what do we say? Such a good pure runner. 56-yard touchdown with his legs. And then the second snap threw a 79-yard touchdown to Quincy Skinner Jr. that got called back. Errington will tell you he pushed off. I will tell you that they should have let him play on that one. But, I digress. Great trick play. We talked about getting the tight ends involved. A lot of 2 tight end sets, but not a lot of targets for the tight ends. But now we see a Stowers to Cole Spence tight end battery. Trick play. Touchdown. Martell Height. So good. We'll talk. Obviously, Errington, we'll talk about him on the defensive side. So good in special teams. Punt, return, touchdown. They were really firing on all 3 cylinders, guys.
Yeah, that's what we, back when I was a player, it's something we referred to as complementary football. Coach Lee was just always big on details, always big on all 3 phases of the game interlocking, offense, defense, and special teams. And I've never seen this team operate at this caliber, at this level. Everyone seems to be on the same page and seems to be clicking. But specifically, I want to talk about the defense because I have one thing to say. When you hold a team to 71 yards, I have never seen a team come out on the losing side when you do that. We knew that going into this game, this was a team that they should handle. They went out and handled business exactly like they should have. So proud of the guys for that. This team is, like I've been talking about in previous weeks, they look the part. They're acting the part. Coach Steiner got them right in the weight room, so they're able to physically impose their will on the teams that they play. Something else that we're seeing that hasn't been so prevalent in previous years has been the creation of turnovers. As you see, the first game, interception. This game, almost everyone had a turnover. Allen Wright had a pick 6. That was a great play. C.J. Taylor had an interception. And things like that are just great to get guys going, to get like a motivation and a confidence boost for everyone on the team. And it just gives you the confidence going into the next game, knowing that, okay, we have the ability to dictate terms on defense. And when you can get the ball back for your offense, that gets you rest, and it also puts the team in position to score, which is how you win games. So just seeing the team get takeovers has been really exciting. I've been around the facility a lot over the past couple of days, and something that's a lot different is just everyone seems to be having fun. Everyone's been in a good mood, and it's like that's been really uncharacteristic of Vanderbilt. Usually it's just been somber. Oh, we have another game. We don't know the result, but like now everyone is confident. Everyone believes that they can win. And it's just like, just having that motivation going into the game, that confidence that we can come out victorious, that's half the battle. And I think just to sum this all up, this is a great example of Coach Lee kind of finding that perfect balance of building culture and having a culture established, which he did the last 2 years. There were some growing pains. Fans were upset, but he knew what he was doing, and he also combined that with the portal. So he's brought in key pieces, Corday Sidner, Zaylen Wood, just all those guys, and then paired them with guys we already had like C.J. Taylor, Martell Height, and all these guys, and now it's creating like a perfect combination of performance on the field, which is what we've been seeing. So, hey, I'm excited for this week, Georgia State.
Yeah, talking about Georgia State, you talked about culture, you talked about transfers. Georgia State is historically kind of a tough team for SEC schools. Mm-hmm. Beat Tennessee in 2019, gave South Carolina a hard time in 2022. Vanderbilt will get them in what many have deemed a trap game this week. We'll see what it looks like. They need to go into this game focused and ready to take control. They need to operate on all cylinders like you guys have been talking about. Mm-hmm. They need to go in confident. Clark Lee in his press conference today said that the energy wasn't exactly where he wanted it to be. Sounds like there's maybe still a hangover from the 55-0 win. People are still not entirely as focused as they need to be. But like you said, the culture is there. They know that they can establish that mentality of going in there, getting the job done, and starting 3-0 for the first time in Clark Lee's tenure. So We're going to see if that happens. On the topic of record, 3-0, You said earlier in the season that Vanderbilt would win 7 games. You said 7-5 is a feasible prediction for this
Most
team.
definitely.
Let's talk about it, guys. Let's debate this. Do we think Vanderbilt can win 7 games?
Yeah, I think they certainly can, right? They're 2-0 now, and the game that I doubted was Virginia Tech, out of conference. I never doubted Georgia State. Look, quick thing on Georgia State. I know they're going on the road. I know Georgia State has been good in the past. Like we talked about, they got hurt by the transfer portal a lot this year. They're a different team. They lost to Georgia Tech pretty significantly, but we're not going to blame them for that. Georgia Tech just hung around with Syracuse. We know what they did to FSU, so I don't think Georgia Tech's a bad team. But they played a 3-point game against Chattanooga. Like, I think Vanderbilt is better than this, and I think they'll come out victorious. Then you kind of pair that with what Auburn did against Cal, losing at Jordan-Hare when they were 2 touchdown favorites, right? And then South Carolina, who looked bad against Old Dominion, nearly lost, got bailed out by a pick, crushes Kentucky this week. The fact that you have South Carolina, Kentucky, and Auburn on your schedule, plus Ball State and Georgia State, that should be 5 more right there. No, Errington?
Yeah, man, but you know what they always say, you can never underestimate your opponent, but the game that I'm really most looking forward to is Missouri. All these, Virginia Tech, that was a great win. Alcorn, we knew how that was going to turn out. Georgia State, I think that's another game that, Vandy's going to breeze through. But I'm excited for the boys to play against Missouri. Missouri has a potent offense. Brady Cook, I'm not even sure who their running back is. I think it's Noel. They have a lot of playmakers on that team. Luther Burden, Theo Weiss. That'll be the true test because, as we know, it's the SEC games that are really going to matter and that are going to let us know where this team really stands. We saw performances from people like Texas, who's coming to us later. They're coming and they're not stopping for anybody. So that Missouri game is going to be a big indicator of what direction this season will swing and the hopes and what our record will be. I'm still thinking 7-5. A little more skepticism just because the opening 3 weeks can sometimes be a little sketchy. But I'm staying at 7-5. We'll reevaluate come Missouri.
Yeah, I think Missouri will definitely be the true litmus test for this team, regardless of the Georgia State result this weekend. Vanderbilt's going to go into Columbia a huge underdog. Luther Burden is probably the best player in the country, definitely the best wide receiver in the country. Some people have him going first overall in the NFL draft in April. We'll see. I think there's a lot to look forward to. I know, Jonah, you had potentially an X, formerly known as Twitter, post that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, well, I certainly did. Here's a post from a while ago, back in the old days when the team wasn't doing too hot and the idea of sitting all alone. And believe me, there weren't too many Alcorn State fans there, but the ones that were there were in this spot, sitting all alone, just fighting the demons. And it's amazing that Vanderbilt football can do that to somebody now, especially after seeing week 1. It seemed like same old story. Hokies came back. The Hokie fans were going to go home happy. They heard it from all the Vanderbilt student body. Anybody who came out from Alcorn was sitting alone, kind of with their demons at the end. And then now Vanderbilt doesn't have a home game until Alabama. So let's see if we can make those fans feel bad, eh?
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that Alabama comes in and it is not the same that it was last time they played in a 52-0 loss. Yeah, theoretically, they are on our schedule. Yeah, Alabama will be on the schedule October 5th. Mark your calendar. Should be hopefully a good game. We've obviously all got our hesitancies, but we'll see.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
They didn't look great against South Florida.
No, they did
not
not.
at all.
South Florida hang around
It was
with
a
them.
really close game.
Yeah.
And then now they go to Wisconsin and host Georgia before they come here. So either, we've talked about this, either they'll come in a bit deflated after just like a couple tough games, or they'll come angry after Georgia and wanting revenge against us.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to blow those guys out the water. They're going to try to come get vengeance on Vanderbilt, but little do they know this is a different Vanderbilt team. We want Bama.
Wow. Famous last words potentially, but we'll circle back to that in a few weeks. Transitioning a little bit off of football and into women's soccer. Another week, another undefeated streak for the Commodores. 4-0-2, remain unbeaten on the year. They drew Kansas on a Thursday night primetime game that wasn't exactly what Darren Ambrose was looking for. Said it was one of the worst games he'd seen played on the Plex. And then they come back and they, as usual, take care of the inferior opponent in Middle Tennessee State. Win 3-0 on senior night thanks to huge contributions from Caroline Betts, 1 assist and 2 goals. And then Rachel Dureski had the 2 goals from Caroline Betts and also dished out the assist to her senior counterpart. So both of them combined for the 3 goals in really a dazzling performance on a Sunday night in Nashville. beautiful sunset, beautiful performance from the Vanderbilt women's soccer team. And I think we're going to wrap it up here. I don't know. Do you guys have any final thoughts you want to leave us with as we look to Georgia State this weekend?
Well, I was just going to say on the women's soccer front, we know that it's been a strong non-conference play, and the test starts with SEC play against Auburn, right? But I think we both agree in looking at this team that they will get back to the tournament this year, and obviously they won't, there'll be struggles in the SEC schedule, right? So maintain the faith because the best teams in the country play in the SEC. But mark it right now. I know we're marking Vanderbilt bowl game, boom, in football, and women's soccer will be in the SEC tournament.
Oh, man. Hey, not even bowl game, Vanderbilt natty, especially if we beat Missouri. I'm coming in hot with the takes. But just one more thing on the Georgia State. I talked to one of my teammates today, and he was saying, like, they're physical. They have fast guys, so just hearing them talk about Georgia State in that light is a good thing because, like I said, it's easy to play Georgia State and be like, okay, we're going to run over these guys, but the fact that they're still taking them seriously is a great thing to see. I know there's a couple guys banged up, and I'd really rather have them, like, not rush back, to kind of take their time with their recovery, just, like, take care of their bodies, make sure they're ready to go by Missouri because, like I said, that's the true litmus test. So just hope those guys get well, come prepared to play on Saturday, and stack another win.
And Errington, can I get one more prediction from you before we go?
I'm hearing it.
How high, if at all, will the Commodores be ranked this year? What's the peak?
Okay. You want me to be, like, optimistic? Like what?
Just be you. You're an optimistic guy.
Okay. I am. Okay, if we beat Missouri, the sky is really the limit. So once we beat Missouri, we'll be 17th. Who do we play after that? Ball State?
No,
then it's
we're
Alabama.
bye, and then it's Bama.
If we beat Missouri, we're beating Bama. 13. And then Texas is going to come. That's going to throw off our mojo a little bit. And then we'll 13 might be the cap. 13 will be the cap. But, hey, Vanderbilt ranked is something we haven't seen in a long time, so I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
I'll take 13.
Absolutely. I think we would all take 13. That's going to do it for us in the Dores Unlocked studio tonight. Thank you all so much for listening, and best of luck to Vanderbilt football and Vanderbilt soccer in their respective matches this week.